Good morning, friends. I wanted to take just a few minutes to share some information that I've been requested to share. It's actually been about 8 weeks since I made that unexpected trip to the ER, and several people have asked me about how did I stay mindful during that experience? How did I ask for what I needed? And so I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about that. So first let me say that I think that mindfulness in all its forms is a very important skill for all of us to practice. It allows us to listen to our minds, to our bodies, to our spirits more deeply. And when we listen to ourselves, we can become more aware of what we need, and we can advocate for ourselves. So we can really manage our self-care better when we're mindful and when we know what's going on with ourselves. And so these kinds of awarenesses build slowly over time, and so it's something that I encourage that everyone find some kind of practice that helps you be mindful. So specifically thinking about listening to your mind. Now, when I'm talking about listening to your mind, I mean becoming aware of all the internal chatter, the little stories that you have going on, the narrative, the story that you're making up about your life. So there is a distinction between what happens in life and what we say about what happens. And to a large extent, what we say, what we interpret, the meaning that we give our experiences is what creates our future experiences of reality. And so it's very wise to pay attention to what you're saying about your life, what stories you have, what things trigger strong feelings in you based on what you've said. You may have some stories, some assumptions that you've made along the way that trigger reactions in you, anything from happiness and joy and to surprise or anger or fear. So becoming aware of those stories that may trigger strong emotions is a very powerful thing. And you can do that several ways. One is just through the practice of mindfulness, listening to your thoughts, becoming aware of thoughts, and viewing them as if they were a movie, just screen, as if you're observing your thoughts. The other thing is journaling. Writing about your thoughts helps you become aware of those thoughts. Another thing would be coaching, because you're saying out loud your thoughts, and sometimes then when the coach reflects that back to you, it gives you an opportunity to hear what you're actually saying about yourself and your life. And then I also did some work probably 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago now, called Landmark Education. And the Landmark Forum is a very powerful course helping you to distinguish the stories in your life. So those are all great tools in learning to listen to your mind. Learning to listen to your body is another thing. Learning what your limits are. The symptoms, the signs that we have are not necessarily illnesses or problems in and of themselves. They oftentimes are our body's way of telling us what's going on. So when we experience sensations that accompany unpleasant things, whether we feel our pulse quicken, when we feel our muscles tighten, or our jaw clench, when we feel butterflies in our stomach, those are all signs that things are going on with us physically, which then may clue us into maybe a thought that's related, or maybe we're reacting to some kind of something in our environment. So those are wise to pay attention to. That can be very useful data. And then also, and so let me say also that in terms of listening to your body, I think that any of the body therapies are great ways to develop more awareness of those kinds of things. Some kinds of meditation and relaxation exercises like progressive muscle relaxation, yoga, dance, anything where you use your body and have to really listen to your body. Those are all great training tools to develop your body awareness. And then there's your spirit. And some people think of this in a religious context. I think of it really in terms also of that which connects you to all that is, whether you express that in a religious way or in some other way. We all have a spirit. We all have that heart part of us that connects to all that is. And so however that occurs for you, I invite you to explore that. And so maybe it's through prayer, or maybe through meditation, or maybe through silence, just taking time to listen deeply and to maybe sometimes quiet your mind, maybe watching your breathing so that your body quiets down, and reflecting. Those are all ways to listen to our spirit. So I hope those have been helpful. Those are just a few tips. It didn't share the exact experience of what happened in the ER and how I used all of that, but I'll do that another time. And in the meantime, may you be well.